Good morning. Gal Friday here. It's June 21st, 2023, and I have never done this before. I am pre-recording a video because I will not be here or be around on Friday for our Fun Fold Friday. So I thought I would record the video and post it so we don't miss out on this week's Fun Fold Friday. Now, this card was inspired by Judy V of Just For You. I believe it's Just For You. Let me just check. Created Just For You. And I thought it was a beautiful card, and I figured we would do it for Fun Fold Friday. So I'm using Lost Lagoon Soft Sea Foam. I use the Elegant Tag Punch and Hello Irresistible DSP, which is on sale right now. Okay, so before we start, I'm going to give you all the dimensions. This is 5.5 by 11, and it's scored at 2 3/4 and 5.5. For the inside of the card, we have some soft sea foam that is 5 3/8 by 5 3/8, and then some basic white 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Then we have in Lost Lagoon, let me just get these pieces out. We have a few pieces in Lost Lagoon. I punched a label. Then I have one piece that is, I think this is 5 3/8. I punched it by 2, and you'll notice the elegant edge tag punch is up there. And then we have 5 3/8 by 1, and I actually did 4 of them. And then we have some soft sea foam, and we have one that measures 5 3/8 by 2 5/8, 5 3/8 by 1 7/8. And then we have 4 pieces that are 5 3/8 by 7/8. We have 2 pieces that measure 2 5/8 by 1 3/4. And then I have some DSP. And this is the Hello Irresistible DSP, 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. 2 pieces that measure 1 5/8 by 2 1/2. Then I have one piece that measures 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. And then I have 4 pieces that measure, oops, what is that one? 2, 3, okay. 3/4 by 5 1/4. Let's see this one, 3/4. This one's a little longer because I'm going to trim it off. And then I punched out another label for my sentiment. And I am using the Everlasting Beauty stamp set. That's where the sentiment came from. And I already colored, stamped, colored, and fussy cut the flower. Okay. My computer is making noise and I don't know why. All right, so let's get started. Here is our card base, and I am actually going to add my 2 layers to the inside. So I'm going to first put in my soft sea foam, and that goes on the inside of our card. You want to have a nice little edge of your card base showing. And then we're going to layer it up with our basic white, and I also stamped one of the flowers in the corner. Now I'm not going to adhere this with glue. I'm going to do it with seal so we do not see the glue shining through. And again, we're going to put this on, make sure it is even. And we have the inside of our card almost finished. We still do have to put in our label, but I'm going to wait on that until we get the outside of the card done. And I'm looking for my other label piece. There it is. Okay. This piece up here is layered with the designer series paper, and instead of using this wild color, I'm using this side here. And we're just going to adhere these 2 pieces together. And again, you want to just get it on here so it's even. And this is going to be adhered to the top part of the card. Okay? Top front. So this is a card where you will need to create an envelope or buy a 6x6 envelope for it to fit in, unless they have a what is this measure? Where'd my ruler go? Oh, here it is. A 5 3/4 or a 5 5/8 by 5 5/8. Okay, so there is the top. Then we're going to take these smaller pieces, and I'm using the same side of the DSP again. And we're going to add some glue and layer these together. Again, you want to make sure that they are on here straight. Okay. And now we're going to adhere these 2 pieces to the left. And you want to line it up with this piece on top. So you want to make sure it's on there straight. And then we're going to take the other piece and we're going to add it to the right-hand side. And again, we want to make sure that this is on here straight. All right. So there is the top of our card. Now, when I cut these pieces, I actually took my elegant edge tag punch, and I'll do it, show you from the other side. This one actually fits in perfectly, and I just punched it to get the decorative edge. When I did the smaller pieces, I inserted it and just eyeballed it to get it as centered as I could to create my 4 panels. Now, you know, when you punch, my phone's going off now. When you punch these, there is a right and a wrong way. So you want to just make sure you have them in the right direction. Okay. And we're going to layer these up with our soft sea foam. So I'm going to add some glue. And I'm going to put it right under where I punched, leaving some space. I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper here so I don't get glue all over my desk. All right, so we're going to layer it with the soft sea foam, and then we're going to grab our designer series paper and we're going to lay it right on top of that. Okay. All right, so there's one. Let's do the second one. Again, we're just going to line it up right under that dot. Get our designer series paper. Now, if your paper is directional, you want to make sure that you lay it down the proper way. And this one really doesn't matter. It's 2. So we do have some glue there, so I want to make sure I don't get it on my desk. Otherwise, it will get all over everything. All right, and here's number 3. And then our designer series paper. And then we have one more. Our piece of designer series paper. All right, so our 4 pieces are done. As you can see, there is some overhang, but we're going to leave that for right now. All right, we can put those 4 aside. Now we're going to grab that wider piece, and we're going to do the same exact thing. I'll line this up right underneath where we punched, lining it up so that it's the same amount of space on each side. And then again, layer it up with our designer series paper. Just want to make sure that's straight. All right, so we have our pieces all adhered together. We can pull in the front of our card. Now this one, here's the edge right here. We want that edge so it fits onto the front of the card. So we're going to go by this edge here. All right, so I'm going to just lay that in there. And we have to add our other pieces. So I am going to start by adding these two pieces, and I want to get them so they're pretty much even. And I'm just going to move this out of the way. I'm going to line this up so we have some lines to go by. I'm going to pull that one up. Oh, we're going to pull it down. So I think I'll go by this line here. Does that look like it's even? Let's just see. Let's do this. Line there and line there. All right, so we have our grid paper. I'm going to line this up. I'm going to move it up just one more because I want to make sure that it looks like it fans out. So we're going to put this one like this. Okay. Then we're going to put our second piece in and we're going to pull it up so it's higher. Same thing on this side. So I'm going to actually, line it up so the edge or the corner of the piece is at the designer series, at the soft seafoam layer. Just looking to make sure that looks even. And then this one is going to go on the top, right over top of it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add some glue, just like that. I don't want it sticking to the front of the card. And we want this to lay in the center of our card. I'm going to just scoot these out a little bit. I'm going to leave this, take this one off. So then this way, these are on here and they are glued together. Does that look even? Yep. And I just saw some glue, so I'm just going to get that off with my eraser. All right, so we have our two pieces. Now we want to put our third piece on. And again, I'm going to line this up. I'm actually going to adhere this one right to the card base, I believe. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. So let's get some glue. We only want to adhere it to this bottom piece. So I'm going to put this down here like this. Take my second one. We only want glue on the bottom half. We're going to add this one. How come that doesn't look right? I'm going to just hold that, scoot it over just a little bit. All right, so we have these two pieces here, and we're going to let that dry for a minute. While we're waiting on that, I'm going to get my little cutter, and we are going to cut off, if I can get it through these layers. I'm going to line up the big piece against my blade. I'm going to trim off. I have to use my bigger trimmer. This one's not strong enough. So give me 1 second. I'll be able to see what I'm doing here. All right, too much to go through. Let me just grab my scissors here quick. Wherever they disappeared to. I'm going to get my big scissors. Too many layers. My scissors are not here. Where the heck did they go? All right, so I just trimmed off this bottom piece. Okay. And now that this is dry, I'm going to take off these pieces. And I'm going to use my scissors because there's glue on there. I don't want to get it on my cutter. So we're just going to trim these off so they are even with the end of the card. Okay, now we can grab this next piece and line it up onto the bottom of the card here. And we want to add some glue. So we're going to line this up so it's right at the bottom of the card. We want it to be centered. All right, I did big glue here. All right. Now when this opens, it will look like that. So we need something on the inside of the card to hold this up for display. So I think we will add it right about there. That will be perfect. And what I'm going to do is, do I want it this way or do I? Yes. I am going to cut this piece in half. I'm going to let this dry. And we're going to add one to the top. And then one to the bottom. Making sure they're pretty even. It looks pretty good. So we'll let that dry. Let's close this up. We're going to take our flower. I'm going to grab some dimensionals. And I'm going to adhere this to the center. Let's see. Do I have a spot? Let's just cut one of these in half. So I can put one on a leaf and take the other half and put it on this leaf. All right, so I just added some dimensionals to the back of our flower. I'm going to add it right here. And I'm actually going to grab some ribbon. Let me get it. There it is. Here it is. We got some Lost Lagoon ribbon. I'm going to tie a little bow. Let me get my other scissors. Just want to angle our tails. Let's grab a glue dot. I think I'll put it right about here. Make sure our loops are even. And let's see if we have some embellishments we can add to this. These are holiday rhinestones. I'm going to use these because we have a great color right here. I'm going to use the smaller ones. I'm going to put 1, 2 right up there in the corner. I'm going to take a larger one and add it down here under the flower. And then I am going to grab one in that corner and one in that corner. So we have our card decorated in the front, and you could go even more crazy if you wanted. So we want this to stand up, so we could put it right here in the center, and I am going to pop it up with some dimensionals to make sure that it holds the back of that card the way it's supposed to. Okay. And let's see, we want it pretty well in the center. That's a little bit crooked. Okay. So there is the center of here's our card. And it holds just like that. All right. So there is our Fun Fold Friday card. I hope you like it. Don't forget, our month is almost over. If you'd like to join Stamping Up for the discount, make sure you sign up before the 30th. And don't forget about the DSP, or the Designer Series paper sale. Thanks for catching the video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.